Well, hello there. Welcome to the premium and public video discussion for January 30th, 2021. I think something's going on. What's going on? Oh yeah, a major winter storm. That's why we're combining these this video. Normally I have a premium video where we go over all the dynamics, and then we have a public video where we just go over the basic details, right? Well, we're dealing with one of the first major winter storms for the entire region. December was okay. You got around 6 inches, a couple of locations up to 10 inches. This one, some locations could be pushing up to 2 feet. So I wanted to make sure everyone understood what the dynamics were, what we were dealing with, and why I came about the forecast that I have. And of course, we'll also go over all of that as well. And then I'll also tell you about what I'm expecting with this schedule here and how we're going to work everything out with that. So let's dive into some of the observations, shall we? So here's our current observations as of late this morning. We have temperatures in the upper teens to lower 20s over the interior, mid 20s in the New York City metro, upper 20s to around 30 in the Philadelphia metro down towards Wildwood, New Jersey. Yeah, it's cold out there. Thankfully, not as bad as yesterday because the wind subsided. But notice something. The dew points. It's very dry. Very, very dry. I'm going to tell you something. Arctic air does not like to leave very easily. It puts up a fight. And sometimes Monogynes doesn't always handle that factor very well. And then it starts to catch up as the storm evolves. So, yeah, I mean, this is some pretty cold Arctic air, dry air as well. Thankfully, the winds have subsided, but just keep that in the back of your mind when we're looking at this storm. So, here's our surface map. High pressure is in control. This high pressure system is not going anywhere. It's going to remain locked to the north of our storm, and our storm is down here getting itself organized. Now, this is from the spc.noaa. Most of the stuff I'm going to show you is pretty free. You can actually go to spc.noaa.gov and you can go and look at all this data yourself. This is at 500 millibars. Now, previous storms would always have this situation where this shortwave comes in, you have this block here, and it gets crushed under this, what we call convergence and confluence. That's not happening this time. This time, this block is going to lift just enough north and allow for interaction with this little kink right here to allow this upper level low to develop. So as a result, we're starting to see pretty healthy precipitation and some convective precipitation at that on the northern side of this low pressure system. Something to, again, keep in the back of your mind. And when we take a look at the water vapor satellite picture, very impressive shortwave here organizing. This is strong. Now, this came into the west coast. It took out roads. It produced heavy rain, flash flooding, mudslides, the works. Okay, and also hundreds of inches of snow on the Sahara. So it's very, very impressive storm already marching through the Rockies. And now it's in the plains producing a bit of havoc. As this marches its way through, it's going to go through what we call a redevelopment process. It's going to jump towards the coast. See, this upper level low can only get so far north until it runs into this block, which is back here. So what happens is that it stops, kind of like it's on the LIE. And unlike what most people can do on the LIE, it decides to take a detour. So it jumps to the mid-Atlantic coast. Now the question up until this point with this storm was, how does it do that jump? How fast is the transition, and what are the processes involved in order to have this little spinning feature here redevelop and transition towards the coastal plain here? The faster it happened and the more developed it is, the colder the storm and the more dynamic the storm is. And we finally got that answer yesterday, thus the snow maps and whatnot. On the infrared satellite picture, this is really important because what this tells me is the strength of the lifting involved with this shortwave. Very key rule here. The stronger the lifting, the colder the cloud top. Why? Because the cloud is able to get higher up in the atmosphere. And if you don't believe me how cold the atmosphere is up that high, just trust me. Trust me, okay? So it is very cold up here. So what we're going to see is this is going to march its way through. And then as it redevelops, you're going to see very cold cloud tops develop over the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area, which is also called the Northern Mid-Atlantic. And that's going to be a sign of very intense, heavy precipitation. In this case, snow. Meanwhile, closer to home, it's pretty quiet, right? Nice, quiet, tranquil. You see this right here? This is cold air coming off of the coastal plain. So cold air is moving over a body of water. You also have cold air moving off of Lake Ontario and Lake Erie, maybe producing a flurry around the Poconos, but nothing too crazy here, right? So let's walk through our forecast. Then we'll show you the forecast map and go through the next couple of days. So again, the whole key with this forecast was this feature right here. Okay, we wanted to see how fast does it redevelop when it jumps to the coast. And the debate in terms of the guidance was whether the upper level low would reform here, which pretty much all the model guidance agrees, or out here. If it was out here, or to the east of New Jersey and to the east of the Delmarva Peninsula, the whole storm would shift further east, and a lot of people would miss out on a lot of precipitation. I had some doubts on that, so I held back on yesterday morning on trusting the European guidance in that respect, especially since a lot of what we call the ensemble runs were further north and west, along with other models as well. Then yesterday afternoon, all the models came in, not necessarily agreeing with everything on the surface, they rarely if ever do, but agreeing pretty much on the overall principle of the upper level dynamics, the core of the storm, how the whole theme of the storm. So think of it this way. You go to multiple plays, sometimes you get an actor that's a little off, right? But the overall theme of the play remains the same. Same thing with the models. The overall theme remains the same. Then you have to work out what type of details you want to work with. So that's pretty much what I've been waiting for. When the theme here locked in, my forecasting idea locked in. So this is textbook for a major winter storm. The next thing I wanted to look at was 700 millibars. This is telling us, this is what's called omega values, okay? Now, what that basically means is that this is the first part of the storm, what we call the warm air transport part, okay? This is the old storm approaching the coast, and you see this lifting Sunday night into Monday morning. This is frontogenesis. This is warm air pushing northward, okay, with the old storm. So that produces light precipitation. Then, the second part of the storm, this is when the storm redevelops, and you're seeing this stretching in the atmosphere here. Now, this stretching is in part due to what we call a low-level jet streak. Okay, this is at 850 millibars. Everyone always talks about the 850 millibar low. This jet streak is like a fire hose of moisture driving into the coastal plain. And yeah, a little bit of warm air too, but remember, Arctic air does not give way very easily. It likes to put up a fight. So, you have Arctic air, you have this jet streak driving moisture from the Atlantic right into the coastal plain. You have strong lifting, which we could see right here at all levels of the atmosphere. Very strong what we call frontogenesis. And this type of environment also supports stretching in the atmosphere, and it also supports instability in the atmosphere. So you combine all these factors together, and it produces the potential for strong lifting. Now, I'm using the European guidance in this case here from weathermodels.com, a great website, and pretty fair price too for model data. But you can see this pretty much on every model guidance, the overall theme. Again, there's going to be little differences in the details, but you get the overall theme here, right? So everything's pretty much locked in that respect. They're all pretty much showing the same theme. So based on that, that's how I came about this forecast. Now, when you have strong lifting, there's also strong sinking air. Okay, so let me move me. There we go. And slide that there so you could see the whole forecast here. Now, this is why when we have strong sinking air, I'm concerned about this area here. I have enough model guidance that would suggest that zone 3 of 6 to 12 could probably go higher. But if you're having all this rising motion, there's got to be sinking air somewhere. So I'm going with sinking air up here. I think more likely to be around 6 inches than 12 inches in Hartford, but we'll see how that works out. But is this area right here where you're going to get that influence of that fire hose and a lot of banding and instability. Zone 5 and 6, this is where we're going to see that warm air kind of put up a little bit more of a fight and kind of win a little bit in some cases, with some sleet and some rain. So we're going with lower snowfall totals here. As you can see, 7 to 14, 4 to 8. Still a pretty significant snowfall, though, any way you slice it, especially for this year. The one change I made is where I added zone 7. The idea originally was that with this strong jet streak, you're going to have a area of sinking air and cut down on snowfall totals, and that I still think that's going to happen. These areas in zone 7 are more likely to feature a lot of light and moderate snowfall and heavy band every so often. But the snow ratio, the amount of cold air that's back here is going to support a higher snow ratio, 15:1, 20:1. So I increase the snowfall totals in these areas to cover that potential. I would not be surprised if someone underperforms in here because you have such strong rising air here, it causes sinking air here. But I wanted to also cover the potential with that higher snow ratio of more snowfall, thus the range of 8 to 16 inches. So we'll see how that works out. But the main event for basically Monday afternoon all the way on through Tuesday morning is going to be right around here, where you're going to have very intense heavy snowfall, poor visibility. It's just going to be a mess. Look, just don't travel on Monday and Tuesday. Stay home if you haven't been staying home already, and enjoy the snow, because it's going to be pretty nasty out there. The other thing as well, I just want to point out also, with the strong winds, you're going to have some mixing of up to 50 miles per hour wind gusts with that jet streak, and also the potential for moderate, possibly even major coastal flooding along the Jersey Shore and around Long Island. So yeah, it's a nasty storm, that is for sure. So let's walk through the forecast for today. Sky cloud cover. It's going to be chilly. Highs in the mid to upper 20s. For tonight on through tomorrow morning, increasing cloud cover, no precipitation yet. Lows in the lower to mid-teens. For tomorrow afternoon, increasing cloud cover continues. Look for snow showers to start to develop from south to north, becoming widespread towards the evening. High temperatures will range from the mid-20s to lower 30s. On Monday, our winter storm unfolds with heavy snow, sleet, and rain down towards southern coastal New Jersey. It's just going to be a mess out there. Temperatures won't be moving all that much. Lows in the upper teens to mid-20s over the interior, upper 20s to lower 30s along the coast, and high temperatures basically in that same ballpark as well. On Tuesday, the storm starts to lift away. We get this pivot Monday night into Tuesday where that heavy snow keeps on gunning in with very significant snowfall rates of 1 to 3 inches per hour. That would not surprise me. I would not be surprised to see thunder snow out of this. Snow continues into Tuesday morning and tapers off towards noon, and then by the late afternoon, maybe some broken cloud cover with some lingering flurries. Temperatures, again, don't move all that much. Lows in the upper 20s to lower 30s, highs in the lower to mid 30s. Wednesday, scattered cloud cover, still a bit windy. Look for lows in the mid to upper 20s over along the coast, upper teens to lower 20s over the interior. High temperatures in the mid-20s to lower 30s. On Thursday, high pressure passes over the region. We start to warm up a bit. Look for lows in the lower to mid-teens over the interior, upper teens to mid-20s along the coast. High temperatures will range from the lower to mid-30s over the interior, mid to upper 30s along the coast. On Friday, a warm front approaches with showers in the evening. Temperatures will warm up significantly as a result. Look for low temperatures in the lower to mid-20s, but high temperatures in the mid-40s to lower 50s. Maybe some fog too, especially while there's snow on the ground. Warm air coming in. Could be a foggy evening on Friday. Then on Saturday, this Arctic cold front comes through, and temperatures basically will be free-falling throughout the day. You'll have morning highs in the 50s and 40s, and then falling through the 30s the rest of the day, with some showers in the morning. And then we're going to have to watch this low pressure system right here with this Arctic cold front stalling off the coast. Maybe something interesting for late next weekend and early the following week. Interesting times ahead, right? Told you the winter storms are coming. You just need to have some little patience. So let's see. Going forward, We will have this video out, and then I'm going to take a bit of a break for the rest of the afternoon. And then after that, tomorrow we'll start with our regular updates and videos, and then we'll start getting into live coverage. A live video chat and answering questions for premium members will be tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock, and then we will go from there. Have a wonderful day, and as always, stay safe out there.